I feel that. I feel
On July 24th, and Autumn can tell you more about it. It's going to be in the commissioner's room. And in speaking with Brian, he said that the flyer was fine, the plans were fine. He'll be there to do his part on representing what the county has to say. And then I'm bringing in Christina Pasowski from the Mobile Home Park Oversight Program on Zoom to talk about rights and responsibilities for mobile home parks. Because, let me say this right, because whatever is coming next steps is going to take a lot of planning with a lot of other minds besides me. But the county is still interested in supporting the mobile home parks some way, but they just don't know exactly.
I think we just stop, Cha-Cha. Can you hear us now? My screen froze up. I had to try to fix it. Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys. And Mr. Mike is here now. All right. Sorry, Sally.
That's okay. That pretty well said everything that I wanted to say. And then I'm sure Autumn will tell you more about the 24th. But we'll work on that. And I just wanted to let you know that the word from the manager was that they're still looking at ways to help with the mobile home parks, but nothing specific right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Autumn, are you there?
Yep, I am.
Hi.
Hi. Like Sally said, I spoke with her earlier today, or this week about the flyer. Actually, today I got the green light to make for approval of the flyer. I'll send 2 copies, one that's a JPEG and one that's a PDF, so you have digital copies to you. I'm also going to make copies for you for each of the parks to be able to pass them out to everyone in the parks, including those in the cabins. We are going to try to bring back the bill that didn't pass this year to include the other residents more solidly in what we're doing. I have 2 potential routes that I have passed along to the county commissioners, the housing authority, and to Brian. So those are potentials for them to explore. We'll see how that ends up going. We definitely need to go ahead and get that cease and desist letter out
That's what I wanted you to talk about, so everybody was on the same page
as
about
soon
it.
as we can. We got to do it
I have paper
within a week.
copies here. If anybody wants a paper copy to forward along with an email or something like that, I can give some to you if you need some. And then I'll give
yeah.
it to whoever wants them on our end.
We need to know of at least one person per park that will send it certified letter. That way we have all bases covered.
Well, if I can, I'll get Mr. Mike to do his now before he leaves. I'll do mine, and then I'm off tomorrow, so I'll post them both in the same certified envelope.
Okay,
I can sign the for my park.
and Janet did speak with somebody who might be able to assist you guys as far as a lawyer goes. I don't know if they can do all 3 parks or what. I literally just found out about the new owner of Jess and Tim's place. So going to need to have one of you guys, I think. I'm happy to tag along. But I think really hearing from you all would be the most beneficial to see if the owner of the new trailer would like to be on the board, and we can make sure that there is, you
What
know,
park is that,
appropriate.
Autumn?
That is Lisa's for Victorian.
Okay,
That
Very good.
way we have to have at least one active mobile home owner on the board
Lisa, do
in
you
order.
know these people at all?
Yeah, they own the hamburger stand up here.
They,
Oh,
they're the people that own the Dairy King right now.
okay, well, I go there.
So it's, but you gotta catch him at a slow time, and I'm told
Oh,
that's a
I
hit
wouldn't
and
go to the
miss.
Dairy King though, to talk to him. That seems inappropriate.
Okay. Well, I have no contact information. I just know that they're the people that own the Dairy King. That's all I know about them.
Well, can we just leave a flyer with them there with the phone number then and say, hey, give
They're-
us a call?
They are renovating that place so that they can turn around and rent it out for over $2,000 a month. So there's no one really there to be able to get that
Well,
flyer.
maybe we can just drop the flyer off at the Dairy King then without bothering them, and then they can review the information when they're not so busy and reach out to us.
I'm friends with some of the people that did all the repairs and rebuilding. I'm pretty sure they know the owners of the place. I could probably get in touch with them.
Okay,
Okay, because it's gotta be the owners that are involved, and I know that
I
Skylar,
know we have another renter here or possible owner here too. Number
okay, check
12
with them.
Number 12, we noticed a new person in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't know who
Talking
she,
about the house behind my trailer.
No,
no,
number
the
12,
actual
Cindy.
red trailer next to ours.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know who they are. Kent said that he spotted her working on the car.
Gotcha.
okay,
and Tyler on our group, he's new tonight. He just moved in. And there's another guy that just moved into the cabin. His name is Enos. I introduced myself, but I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him to update him on what's going on. Because he seems to be in and out all the time. It's hard to catch him. But I'm trying.
okay.
I'll talk to some of the neighbors up here too, but I know we got another new one up here on number 4 too.
Oh, I didn't know we had a new one in number 4.
Yeah, Sky bought that one.
Oh, Sky, yeah, she bought it the last meeting when we were up there in person.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then, you know,
Brought in a whole big truckload of mattresses and stuff.
Yeah.
You see that?
Do you see him go into the trailer? Was it the trailer or the cabin that they put him in? I saw it come in, but I didn't see where it
Oh,
went.
it's throwing it in the dumpster. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Autumn, I got a stupid question for you.
okay.
When you do all your proposals and stuff to the state and stuff, has anybody ever thought about issuing a tax incentive for landowners that do long-term rentals?
I believe there are quite a few actually for that. I don't know what they are, but I do believe there are. I think there probably needs to be more of a tax break for low income long-term rentals, which is, or affordable long-term rentals and stuff like that. You know, that way we could have a little bit more of a tax break for them and be able to maybe incline them to work together. That
would
might
be
be
a good idea.
something, that might be something we could even put in with the bill that we tried to pass this year, but it didn't get passed. Maybe that's something we can add it into it, because it's all about affordable housing.
That's what I was
So.
thinking, hell, they give incentives to all these corporations to destroy the land. Why not try to give an incentive to save it?
Right.
Right.
And I'm also kind of playing another angle there, because a lot of people are worried about preserving our history, and whether it's the cabins or the mobile homes, in
Mhm.
some way they are tied into our history and accommodating our working class.
right, absolutely.
You know,
This is something we've been
everything-
fighting here in this county for a number of years. People
You know,
need to
everything from the
understand.
minor days, the cabins are there from the old minor days. Some of them were turned into the Cub Scout cabins, and then they
Right.
moved on to later to be what they are now. I mean, when I-70 was being constructed, that's when our mobile home parks popped up. They were there to help put in our highway that millions of people use.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, to get rid of the idea of accommodating affordable housing would be erasing our history.
Exactly.
I
And it's
talked to
something
a
that's
history
needed all
specialist
across
in the
America
county.
right now.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
No, they can't hear me.
Can you hear Mr. Pope?
Hi.
Hi,
Yep.
I talked to a historical expert in the county, and she knows a whole lot of stuff. And I asked her if they would actually come in and doze down a historical site, which this actually is. And she said, nope, they can just come in and do it. That's kind of
Well, it
scary.
has to be declared a historical site in order for it not to be, in danger of being destroyed. You have to declare it a site, and then once it's declared a historical site, then you can't change it.
Okay, let's declare it.
I declare.
There's
But it
certain
isn't, like anything
criteria.
else, it's a political process, and that's how, like the library, I think is one of them. There's a couple of places that have the little emblem on them down in Idaho Springs. That have them
It's certain
declared historic.
criteria that's necessary in order to keep, to give something a historical designation, one of which being a well-known architect. And I don't think our cabins have those.
No,
Yeah, I would sincerely doubt that, especially thinking that they were probably put up because of employees needing a place to stay as quickly and, swiftly as possible back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just had a
Which is the
wild
same
thought.
theme for our mobile homes.
Yeah, Autumn, I
Hmm?
just had a wild thought. I'll throw it out there. One of the things that gets my goat the most is all the tourism promotion I see. Sally is in Tulsa. She didn't tell us that, but she said she saw Idaho Springs and Clear Creek rafting on the Today Show today. So we're like, was it like, hey, come cool off in Colorado? So can we
Essentially.
do something about using tourism funds, marketing funds to fund worker and senior affordable housing? I mean, we're promoting the hell out of it. It's one thing I said on the news. It just gets me. We're just
We work
promoting,
for it.
promoting, promoting, and we got nobody. What is it going to be? Everything self-serve up here?
That would definitely have to be something we would have to vote on in order for it to go anywhere.
But if you're
Can we
talking
get
about,
that support? I think so. I
yeah,
mean,
you're
when
talking about
you're
strengthening a bill, and then if
right,
you can tell them, well, here's where the money can come from.
right.
Right.
Oh, Sally can't hear you.
But one of the things from other areas that I've seen in the state is they've tagged part of the tourism dollars for housing. And I think Chaffey County has been one that's pursued that avenue.
That
So,
is one avenue I had suggested to them, but it's got to be,
and again,
Yeah.
you have political will in there, which
yeah.
is the tricky part.
yep.
So I had a question, Autumn. Do we want to start the letter writing campaign now that we were gonna do to complain about the veto that we got?
I do think we should.
Okay,
About the only thing that good that came of that veto is that hardline 120-day from exercising your right of first refusal to closing. Did not get as hardline and as strengthened because it didn't pass.
okay.
It was gonna get strengthened to a hard deadline, and right now we can try to work through all of this. I mean, he's entered talks, he's shown he wants to do it. But, there's also concerns for the people around here, especially when there's mistakes happening that require people who don't make very much to almost, have 50% added on to their
Mhm,
rates.
mhm.
Those mistakes can't happen because a similar mistakes has happened elsewhere, like with another person that had to deal with eviction processes
Yeah, because
because
Mr. Mike got
of a
incorrect
mistake in the
information on
system.
his paperwork according to Carla. But according to what you're saying, even if it is a mistake, he should be careful because they came after those people for doing the mistake on their property.
Yeah, and make sure you get anything that said that it's a mistake, you want it in writing,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, so that you
So
can
Janet,
prove.
do you want to get together then and start the letter for the veto process?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, when's a good time for you?
Oh, you're cutting out.
Anytime after 6 Friday?
I was
No.
asking you when would be a good time to get together.
You're not Janet.
Whenever it's good for you, just drop me a text or an email. We'll get together.
Okay.
Anything
I
else,
also-
guys?
I
Anybody?
have
want to
another
speak?
question here. I have another question. When the insurance people came through my cabin and they figured that I need a new roof because it leaks just a
We
little
all
bit.
need new roofs.
Now, should I
So-
put in that work order? Did the insurance people inform the new owners about this? Or do I need to do that?
For you, you're in one of the cabins, right?
Yes.
You gotta inform the management company in writing. They're supposed to have so many days to be able to fix it. Unfortunately, it only seems anything that ends up being fixed only seems to happen and once a complaint is made to the mobile home park oversight program. And then things get fixed, but suddenly right after that, rent goes up
Rent
and
goes
new
Right,
rules get
exactly.
implemented. So it's a catch-22. They should be able to cover that stuff without having to increase everybody's rent to such an extent. That's the purpose of running a business. You want to make a certain margin of profit so that you're able to worry about any contingencies that might happen. But for whatever reason, somehow that's not happening.
Right.
And the powers that be think it's on you guys to fix it. And I'm sorry, when a dude's worth tens of millions of dollars at this point, he can do a little bit without
And we
impacting you
also,
all.
so we also have there's a lot of harassment I hear going on. I worked out a deal because I was waiting for the state money. And then there's a notice to evict on my door. And I emailed her, you have not been honest with me then. She called me right away. Oh, it was a mistake. And there's other things going on because that was not an insurance inspection. It was an inspection for the potential buyer. She lied to us.
Exactly. Yes.
Even the person who did the inspection told us she knew a week before. She is supposed to give us at least 48 hours and she gave us 24. And so the problem is now that inspection is at the county. So we don't even have access to those results and to know what to request, because Carla also, when she told me the sale didn't go through, Zach owns it, it's over. And then Sally said the fat lady hasn't sung. So then I said, well, I was going to wait until the sale because the county was going to get money to fix things up. And so Carla lies again and says, oh, I want to know everything. I take care of my people. So let's submit the requests.
Right. Well, see, and that's an issue. A couple of people at Empire Junction a month before they received the rent increase and rule changes, they had filed a complaint with the mobile home oversight program. A couple of people had in Western, and I think also Kent and Trisha, you guys did the same thing, right? With the mobile home site oversight program 2 weeks before you guys got the rent increases.
And that
Oh,
rule
2
book.
days.
2
2
days.
2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
And a 15-page
After-
rule change.
So the reality is this is complete retaliation. They're supposed to wait 120 days afterwards to do any of the 60-day notices.
Well, that certainly did not happen.
No,
No.
2 days.
No, it did not.
Thereby.
Now
the
that
cease and
law
desist
was
letter.
implemented on April 28th of this year.
Mhm.
And it was what, May 7th or 8th you guys got it?
Yep,
I'd have to check.
We'd have to check, but it was right around Memorial Day. It
yep.
was over the holiday
Seems like-
weekend. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
it is,
Lawson
was
just
around
got
the
theirs
25th.
a week and a half ago.
Yeah, they're moving slow there, I guess. They thought they were protected, but I knew they'd come after them too.
Oh yeah, well, there's certain things that they had to wait on, and there was a lawyer involved and present 120 days ago.
Mhm.
So there still is a lawyer involved and present trying to find out what's going on. A big problem that we are going to be facing is getting people to look past their fear and getting involved.
Right, because I know the cease
Um,
and desist letter is scary, but it's either the letter or the rent hike. You only got two options at this point in time.
And considering some of the rules in there seem to violate not just state statutes, but federal statute, it really needs to have a lawyer to review it, which is where
That's what the
Janet
letter is
comes
for.
in for
Stop so
that,
we can
right?
Get a lawyer to review.
Well, I'll tell you what happened with my conversation with the lawyer the other day. He basically told me that one person alone isn't going to have any impact. He said we need to form an association, and he told me to contact legal aid. His experience with mobile home parks is in Ohio. They don't do them, the firm does not do them here, but they did them in Ohio. And he basically indicated that legal aid, if you get enough people calling about the same park, same owner, that's their thing. They like to help you form an association.
That's what the
And
Colorado
go against
Poverty and
these-
Law Project does too.
Now, did you talk
Maybe
to
that's
them,
what
Autumn? Did you
maybe
get a
that's what
chance
it's
to
called
reach
here,
out?
and it's just legal aid in Ohio. Like I said, his experience was in Ohio.
They don't have phone numbers listed on their site anymore, but I emailed both of the intake coordinators asking them to look and watch out for complaints coming from multiple people from these three parks, because the ones that doesn't have representation need it. So they will need to be, have a lot of people going in and filing out their forms to say, hey, we need your help here. But there's no way to sit there and say, well, this park in general, the whole park needs your help. They need, just like with that, multiple people to send in issues. And somewhere noting in there that the entire park is concerned, or even 75% of the park, if you aren't sure how many people are actually concerned about this. There might be some people who are not. And there might be some people who, I have a neighbor here who's like, if I just keep my head down, nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, we
It'll
have a
be all
couple
right.
of those here too.
That's the
so.
problem here.
So we've got to be able to get more people involved, willing to be able to send in complaints and stuff like that. I can't do it for each of you guys. You got to do it on your own. That part, I can't do it. I'd like to, but I have emailed them at least. I also found them on Facebook, so I'm gonna start saying, I started today saying, hey, will you reach out to these folks up here in Clear Creek County? We need assistance with creating our boards and organizing to be able to eventually get to the point where we can purchase our parks back from the county and get the county to be able to purchase the park, because the state wants us to do this, the county wants us to do this. We have it, we have the support, we just need to get the pathway there. And the lawyers will help us create and organize well enough to ensure that we're able to do the things necessary to eventually be able to purchase our parks.
Autumn?
I agree with legal aid, I think.
You want to go or with the Colorado Law Project, because we've already been in contact with them. We should go with one or the other and then go.
I think at this point we need to get a hold of both and see who bites first at this point, because the reality is you guys each may need a different lawyer for each park. I don't know. But we on top of that got to find out how much it will cost and see how much everybody who is willing to pitch in. I do know of one person who said that she'd be willing to pitch in $50 a week for a month. You know, that way she can cover herself and anybody else who is on a fixed income and can't spare that kind of money. You know, if that's probably not going to be enough to cover everybody, but you know, that's a start.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to find out how many hours cases like these are so we can get a realistic goal of what to go for. I was pointed to a lawyer who charges $250 an hour and will take payments. So if you want me to reach out to him, I will. Also, there is one that has worked with CPLP that worked with one of the residents in Victorian, not in one of the cabins, and she charges $450 an hour.
Holy crap.
So
Whoa.
yeah, that's her day job. That's what she charges on her day job. When she does a contract through CPLP, it's a lot less, you know, it becomes something of manageable. But I don't know what their process is because we haven't taken that yet. I've seen the Colorado law and policy people helping out Lawson, but they can't take on anybody else. So, you know, you guys have got to go
so
through.
what I'll do then is I'll post the email address for legal aid and Colorado Poverty Law Project on our Facebook page. I'll text the people that are not on Facebook. There's a few people that aren't. And then we'll go from there. And then it's up to you guys to take the emails and send out your emails then.
Got it.
Just as a little side note, right now, there's landscapers outside trimming up Empire Junction.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
that's
they've been
nice.
here. They've been
Interesting.
here at Western doing it too.
Yeah, because
So
my
they filled up the
grass in the front
dumpsters
is
and
so
then-
long that my dog goes outside and I can't see her anymore. She's just gone.
Yeah.
Is it landscapers or is it Jose and his helpers?
It's Jose.
I think it's Jose.
It's Jose.
Yeah, they did it here
Uh-huh.
too. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
here
had
too.
different people doing it last summer, but then it's them now.
Yeah.
Well, code enforcement has been going through the counties, so they may have gotten dinged for things being too
Yeah,
high.
that sounds about right.
Tammy, are you there?
Yes, it.
I'm just trying to see if you can hear me. This is Matt. I've been on the call for about 10 minutes. I didn't get on at 6:30, so.
I've got it videotaped for you, Matt. I'll send it over to you like always.
Okay, no worries.
Do you have any questions? Because we're running out of time here, people. So if you have any
No worries,
questions,
unless there's
let
any-
us know.
Unless there's any updates or thoughts on how these various things affect the people that are renters, which is your situation as well, Tammy, I know. Like we talked about that big rule sheet they sent out that was supposed to go into effect by August. That seemed to pertain more to the mobile homeowners, but I don't know if that's something that they're
No, the
expecting us to
50-page
sign
rule
also.
packet applies to us too. And I
Yeah,
know
it applies
that,
to everyone.
we do have a cease
Pretty
and
sure
desist
everybody
letter
probably got
here
that
to
one.
send in.
Hey, it's Josh.
Hey, buddy.
What up, man?
What my
Not a whole
lawyer
lot. How
said
are you?
what my lawyer said about the rules and regs, because in the rules and regs, it refers to the lease, but we don't have a new lease.
Right.
I've got a paper lease.
That
We have a
those
new paper.
regs
we-
are going to be an integral part of the lease, so we need a copy of that lease before we sign anything.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
signed anything to do with those because we don't have nothing to sign.
So we gonna.
If anybody
That
wants
is
to
something you guys
see,
can add
Yeah.
into that letter,
And then
the
If
cease
anybody
and
wants-
desist
No,
letter.
no, no. Put your name, address, and go there, and then we need to put a date in for 5 days from the date we mail it off.
Yeah, we have a paper lease in hand. If anybody wants to see the lease
You have a
product. that they
paper lease, and that's only because your complaint went into the MHOP. That's why you got your lease. Nobody else has a lease.
I don't have a lease.
Yeah.
There
Well,
are one.
if you want to see the verbiage of what they've given us, that was my thought process. Is okay, as far as I'm concerned, my lease is a standalone document and it's dated till next year. I don't need a new set of rules. So.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
but that they want a new set of rules. You may not, but they do.
Yeah,
Well,
but
good for them.
those rules,
Chief-
like every
Yeah.
trailer up here don't qualify on those rules. That's
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
Mhm.
everybody in this party, like, I mean, we all have dogs that are that big. We all have
Washers and dryers.
washers and dryers. We drink, we smoke. I mean, what the fuck? Like,
Like,
don't know,
where the hell are
man.
you gonna do laundry at?
Right, exactly.
I
They don't
believe
have a
the washer
laundromat
and
here.
dryer part is actually in your guys' original.
If what I heard right when I got on, Autumn, you were talking about what they do or don't do, considering what y'all pay and then what they want us to do at the end of the day. You guys are paying these exorbitant lot rent fees. What do they do for the sake of all that? I mean, they haven't even mowed the damn yard until now, all summer.
No, they take the money and they charge you more money. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's all profit for them without
Yeah,
fixing
back to
nothing or
the-
maintaining nothing.
Back to the issue of washers and dryers. My
Yeah.
original lease in 2019 had a clause in it that said no personal laundry machines. Well, that was the point at which we were purchasing the mobile home. So I called
Right.
his name, but I called him and said, hey, the reason I'm purchasing a mobile home is so I can have a pet, I can do my laundry, I can live my life.
It's
And
like
he
having
said,
your own home.
you can just ignore that. It's a standard lease.
Mhm.
And I said, well, I'd like that in writing. So he wouldn't change the lease, but he did give me a written email saying that I was allowed to use an energy efficient washer and dryer.
Okay,
So I signed a lease in 2019 till 2020, and then again from 2020 till 21, but nothing since then.
right.
So it's been almost 2 years without a lease.
Mhm. I
But I've
know
never
you
signed a lease since I've been here, and Dawn and Marlene before me, they've never had a lease,
I've
I think
never
and they
they
were
had,
here
only
for
do
5
it if
years.
you-
So
I think they just do it if you complain about it, then they'll do it, but if they
Yeah.
can get away with it, they won't.
Am I
Yeah,
to
but-
assume that we pay the raised rent come August 1st if this isn't resolved?
Not with the cease and desist letter in act. They are to give you some time to be able to dispute it with legal representation. So that is what the cease and desist letter is going to do, is to stop its implementation, delay its implementation at least.
so what do? We pay our regular rent?
Yes.
You have to get the letter in first, though, and then
But
pay your
yes, you
regular
do
rent.
have, yeah,
Letter
you
first.
do. Whoever gets it in first, if you get it in via certified mail, let us know so that we can start the clock at that point.
Okay, I plan on going by tomorrow to mail mine and Mr. Mike's letter in.
Okay.
So can it be multiple people that sign one, or does it have to be one from each
It should be one
lot?
from each of us, or each
Okay.
one.
Okay.
All right, I'll see if I can get most of us on board up here as well at Western. Start talking to people.
Cool.
Any other questions, guys? Because we're down to less than 1 minute right now.
Okay, Nikki, stop by our place when you get a chance.
Okay,
Of course.
And don't forget the 24th when you get the flyers.
right, and
I'm
we'll get the
sending it
flyers out. We'll walk around and we'll talk to everybody about what's going on and drop the flyers off.
Okay, I'll have the printed copies to you. Unless you guys are gonna print any, let me know so I don't overprint.
I'm gonna